and welcome. Again, feel free to check in by introducing yourself. You can write what has been the best part of UPPSTART so far, and you can ask questions throughout the session about digital transformation through partnerships. With us, we have Hélène Barnekow, CEO at Microsoft Sweden, and Magnus Ekbäck, Vice President, Strategy and Business Development at Sandvik Coromant. And needless to say, this has been one of the sessions that we have been looking forward to the most today. So I'm happy it's finally here. Very excited to have you and the audience here. So let's start with a short introduction. Of course, you and the audience feel free to engage the whole time. First of all, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourselves, Hélène and Magnus Ekbäck, about Microsoft and about Sandvik Coromant, for the members of the audience who might not know you or know what you do?
Let me just start, Magnus. It looks like that on your...
Sure. You go.
Thank you, Amira, and hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I head up Microsoft here in Sweden. I've been doing that for about 18, 19 months. Many of you probably know Microsoft because some of you will use our products probably. But I think the interesting thing to say about Microsoft is that it started out as a software company and productivity company, perhaps you would say. And today it's a company that is very much grounded in the cloud business in different ways. So our mission is really to help our customers and partners to digitalize. So we're going to come into some of those examples, but how do we bring all of what we can do in the physical world today and accelerate the digitalization so we can basically do much more with our customers and partners. And to be able to do that, Microsoft invests quite significantly in Sweden. Among other things, they invest in Sandvik and in Gävle in data centers. We invest in startups. We have a reactor for the development. We're doing skilling and other things because that's all connected to being able to make those movements. So that's what I would say about Microsoft in a short level.
Thank you. Yeah.
So I think Microsoft most likely is a little bit more well-known than Sandvik and Sandvik Coromant. So Sandvik Coromant is one of more than 20 divisions in the global engineering group called Sandvik. And of course, we originated here in Sweden. And of course, we are still also headquartered in Sweden. And we still have, I would say, a lot of operations here. Sandvik Coromant, for more than 75 years, we have been working with our customers in different industrial sectors like automotive, aerospace, medical industry, helping our customers to improve quality and reduce cost in the component manufacturing. And for those of you, if you want to connect to what we do, some of you might know and recognize the more artisan end of cutting tools like jobber drills, end mills, and turning tools. But of course, we do it mainly in metal machining in quite advanced CNC machines today. So myself, I've been in the discrete manufacturing or engineering industry for more than 30 years. I've held executive positions since 2005. And as Amira mentioned, right now I head up strategy and business development at Sandvik Coromant. And you would think, okay, but the cutting tool supplier, what's the connection to this event? And the connection is that our biggest business development project is what we refer to as digital machining. So that's the Sandvik Coromant exploration into, you could say, the new computer-powered and connected world and environment that we experience also in manufacturing.
Fantastic. And my name is Amira Bidawi, and my day-to-day work, I'm at Vattenfall in the energy sector, and I am your moderator and host today. But now, Magnus and Hélène, would you tell us, how did you find each other?
Oh, how did we find each other? So actually, Sandvik and Microsoft had a relationship for a long time. And I think Microsoft being with enterprise software since 1975, and there's been many relationships and I would say transactions going on between Microsoft and Sandvik. So there was a background when we started this partnership. But I would say the partnership we have now that Magnus and I can talk to is very, very different from how we found each other. If I would say, put it like that, Magnus, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I would subscribe to that. If, you know, our relationship goes back for decades, and even as early as in the 1990s, you know, when Microsoft were a product company selling productivity solutions for desktop applications, right? We still ventured into some joint development. And that was the case. So it was a quite transactional, mainly transactional relationship. But this shifted around 2015, and that was when Sandvik Coromant decided to start to explore what we today know as IoT. And when we were exploring our customers' use case, which is discrete manufacturing, we quickly realized that there will be a need to perform edge computing in these use cases. And at that time, there weren't any readily available good solutions for the edge computing requirements that we had. So we turned to Microsoft and actually got a really good connection in, you could say, a side door in with a true core team in Redmond even. And that was the start of a new type of relationship. And, you know, a couple of years later, we joined the Microsoft Industry Leaders Program for manufacturing, which was, I would say, one of the really promising initiatives by Microsoft to start to make an inroad and better understand the customers and the, you could say, the use cases that we have in manufacturing. And, you know, one thing led to another, as we normally say, right? And in 2019, we started to discuss, and it, of course, coincided with the investments that you mentioned, Hélène. So here we are now with a partnership program that is looking really promising.
A really long history, but maybe it was kicked off already in 2015 when in this new way. And, you know, in our audience, we have here startups, tech enthusiasts, and investors, and I think they're very interested in both the tech that has enabled this, but also how a partnership like this works. So how do you think, what do you think has been important for this partnership to work? And what does this partnership really look like? Would you tell us a little bit about that, Hélène?
So yeah, if I start, and I think it's what is really one of the success factors here, and continuing on to what you were saying, Magnus, about having a history that was good. But I think one of the real success factors about these two type of partnerships is that you really connect at the vision and a strategy level. Sandvik clearly had a long-term vision of where they wanted to go and be a leader and develop. And when you start there, then you start your partnership with something that is really important and that can really create these types of, I think you can almost create anything if you start at that point, because then it becomes relevant, and it becomes relevant for all the leaders. So I think the connections we have had with so many different leaders in the organization, it's not just leaders understanding technology, for example. It's HR, it's communication, it's business development, it's manufacturing, and you connect leaders to leaders. So you understand that challenge, and you understand what is it you need to enable to create this win that you want. And when you create partnerships like this, and I think this is really important, you create a win-win. Then it becomes something that is absolutely should be a top line and bottom line win for Sandvik, but it's also, of course, a win for Microsoft. And when you can do that, you release, to me, a lot of momentum, a lot of excitement, and people just want to work on that partnership. And I think that's part of the magic, actually, when you start from the right place in your partnership. I don't know, Magnus, would you agree?
You know, I will only echo that, right? And I think one of the other ingredients, Hélène, is that we have also identified and seen joint value models.
Yeah.
You know, because we have to have a stake, both of the companies, and be on equal ground. But I think you also gave testament to the commitment from both sides. And, you know, if that's sort of the platform and the framework, I can just quickly talk about or mention a few areas where we are working now jointly. One area is, you could say, a more customer-centric activity where we are looking at marketing and sales activities. And specifically here, we are combining and using technologies from Microsoft to specifically do deeper CRM. So we want to get a better understanding of our customers and prospective customers. And another area which relates to what I'm also doing with digital is we have a partnership on digital solutions. And this is also interesting because the combination between Sandvik Coromant and Microsoft can enable Sandvik Coromant to create a new channel into the market for our softwares. So here we are undergoing an ISV program, as well as a co-sell setup that we will land in. But not the least, I also want to mention supply and manufacturing. And as you know, one of the connections to UPPSTART is our factories in Gimo in Uppland. It's one of our largest manufacturing sites, where we have around 1,400 people that are working there. And the Gimo site was awarded World Economic Forum Lighthouse status recently. And of course, we want to take that further on. Microsoft and ourselves, we are working and talking about factory of the future, but our ambition is to look beyond factory of the future. We really want to define and build a true North Star for discrete manufacturing.
Okay, if I can just add to what Magnus, I think great description, and I think this is also where I think, and for all you startups and interesting companies out there, this is also when a customer and supplier relationship from before really becomes a partnership relationship, because you cannot do that if you sit in different places and you're a customer and a supplier or something. You need to go in and become a partner. So your point on becoming an ISV and actually selling your solutions with the help of Microsoft, which we would never would have been able to imagine, I think, actually a few years ago. So think about it as a real partnership, and what opportunities that really opens doors for, which is, to me, the really exciting part.
And as also, another interesting dimension of this is that we are Sandvik Coromant. We operate in the business that we serve. We are also in discrete manufacturing when we make our products, which gives us really content rich, which also makes it a really attractive, you can say, sandbox for our partner Microsoft to test out solutions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This seems very exciting and promising for the future. I did think that you were awarded or recognized as a lighthouse for Industry 4.0, Sandvik Coromant. That's very interesting and inspiring. And I guess this will be one of the cornerstones that in the continued work. I would like to finish off by asking you to give some of your top tips to the entrepreneurs and tech enthusiasts in this audience. For example, you could touch upon what is required for a really good partnership. What are some of the challenges that they might encounter? Or any other tips that you would like to give the audience?
Do you want me to start again, Magnus, or
there
I go? We found a flow here. So, well, I think as even whether you're in partnership or not, one of my main points is always to look at what are you solving for. It's so easy to come up with not so easy to come up with new ideas, but we have a lot of creative people, I can tell already on this video and in the chat, but what is it we're solving for? What business problem? What customer problem? What are we creating a solution for? Because as soon as you can get to that, you already have a certain level of stickiness. Sometimes we go too quickly because we have a really exciting idea, but are we solving for something that is important to somebody? So I would really circle around that one. And I think the second point is finding customers or partners or customers who become partners, where you can really have shared value, shared vision, you have a foundation. If you can find that, those are the most exciting partnerships, I would say, because then it's almost without limits what can actually flourish out of that. So that would be my second thing. And then I think it's always comes down to people. So how do you get connected with people who are really driven and curious and want to do things and want to learn and develop? And if you can connect with people like that, again, I think, because you cannot define, even though you define certain ambitions and we define goals and we define financial goals, etc., you cannot detail structure a partnership that is so new. You have to leave that room for people to create it. So I think that's really, really important.
I think you exhaust this, Hélène, and
I exhaust
quickly. I think partnerships are not only for big enterprises like Microsoft and Sandvik Coromant. They are for everyone, and I think one thing is to, even if I know for startups that networking and getting through to the big companies is one of the challenges, but we would have room, like for instance what I mentioned, what we're doing in YIMO, we would have room also for smaller startups. We can incorporate and also test out new technologies and new solutions. So I would network, try to get in and be there and be persistent, I think is really important. But the other thing I will also say is more the local connection is look for manufacturing companies in your region where you are and see, are they open to work with you, to, just to be a test ground where they can test solutions? Because today everyone is on the Industry 4.0 train. Everyone wants to move, and some they haven't made decisions or decided yet, and some are just entrepreneurial and like to meet with other entrepreneurs, and they will open the doors and let you plug in and test solutions.
Great, thank you so much. We have a question here that relates a bit to what you have been talking about, I feel. And it's a question from Paul Boetier. How much would you say this type of collaboration is dependent on the fact that you both as leaders share a common set of values? There are many businesses that can share a common vision, but that doesn't automatically make it easy to collaborate. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think Hélène really exhausted that. There are a few values that sort of describe the platform. Maybe what we talked about, the trust, the shared vision. Trust you build and you earn, but it's also commitment. And I think the other ingredient is that it has to be a win-win where we can see and we can share business outcomes. Because, we're not just doing this for fun.
Thank you. And then we have some fans of the YIMO factory as well.
Great.
Good to see.
So we could go and visit it. I would love to visit. Okay, very nice. Our time is up. I don't know if you have some time to stay for any more questions. We can maybe have 2 or 3 more minutes. But it seems like here we have people are saying thank you, thumbs up, great session. Time goes fast when you are having a good time. It went very fast. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's have a very nice rest of the conference. There are many more things happening still up until late tonight. And visit the exhibition of Sandvik Coromant is my send out to you. Thank you all and have a nice day.